And we're live. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to come to you a little bit late. I had to get done watching the Lakers and the Blazers, and then somebody hacked my side Skype account to actually do these one-on-one phone calls. So I had to create a new one, and I'm not exactly the most technology savvy of all guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the basketball games today. As a Bucks fan, not very good. Lakers fans can't be having a lot of fun right now, and I made a shout out to play Brooke Lopez today. And I'm not gonna lie, guys. It hurt. It hurts a lot. It cost me a good number of dollars today. So, as you can see, this GPP right here, Brooke Lopez, 15 points was a complete dud. And when you're up near the top, you guys know how every place matters a little bit. So, I mean, even just like 6 more points out of him to get back up there would have been nice. But shout out to Justin Farrell, new customer of ours, getting second place. Awesome day, man. And head on over to Overlay, where I'll be honest, Brooke Lopez almost cost me what would have been a really, really bad day. So, all in all, Brooke Lopez is definitely on my bad side, but most of you guys have been there before. We could just brush your shoulders off and go back at it today. I will say Whiteside tying Fultz, though, on Overlay makes me feel a lot better about Brooke Lopez not completely ruining the day, because the jackpot would have been like $1,400, which would have been a nice little payday, but it wouldn't have come through because Whiteside had a nice close. So I'm done with my whining. Sorry that you guys had to listen to me cry. I try not to cry too often on here, but I thought I would just let it out just a little bit today, guys. So go give her a whirl on over and Overlay, though, guys. The link to their Twitter profile is below. Um, I believe we had some people actually might have come 12-0 today. Maybe not in this one, but maybe in the other one on back-to-back days. I know one of our guys, Daniel Allen, was really close, just proving it can be done. Some of these NBA playoff matchups might be a little bit easier than some of the other contests they have them out there for. So, all right, guys, enough of that. Let's talk about the plays that we are looking at for Wednesday, the 19th of August, and try to get back after it. Hopefully, everybody had a nice day, and let's get to it. All right, guys. Matt will be covering the early MLB stuff. We had to split this one up just a little bit. There's a lot of sports going on right now. Just to reiterate, still got the 20% off sale on the NFL package. Day passes are up. Subscribe to the station if you're new to it. Thumbs up is appreciated. So, some of the guys I'm going to be looking at on Wednesday. Definitely looking hard at the mid-tier build. And one of the guys that I am interested in of the Los Angeles Clippers is going to be Marcus Morris Sr., who comes with availability at both the 3 and the 4, so the small forward and the power forward role, $4,800. So I'm sure a lot of you guys caught this game. It was a good one. It was right. It was really entertaining. I'm sure a lot of you guys have strong feelings about the Porzingis ejection. That's either here nor there at this point. But if you watch this game closely, it wasn't Kawhi, it wasn't Paul George, it wasn't Patrick Beverley, it wasn't any of the famous quality defenders that the Clippers had that did the best job guarding Luka Doncic. It was actually Marcus Morris Sr. He will be out there for a good number of minutes again in game two. He played 30 plus minutes in game one. This guy's got a lot of that dog in him that you like in playoff contests like this. He's willing to get dirty. He's capable of shooting the three-pointer. He's a good player. Not even the top 4 or 5 player on this team, but a very good player. If you watch Montrezl Harrell play, he's not basketball ready at all, having not played since March. He's clearly out of shape. I have no fear that he's going to be taking run from Morris anytime soon. Morris had the highest plus minus of anybody on the Clippers in game one by a distant margin. He's going to get nice solid run from Rivers and the guys on Wednesday. And he's very, very affordable at 4,800 for what he can offer. He's a very confident type of player. And utilizing this mid-tier or lower mid-tier type of build, maybe you don't have to go as heavy on studs because there's a lot of mid-tier guys, crushing major value. We saw Donovan Mitchell, Jamal Murray, my boy Gallo did it today. There's a lot of guys out there, and I have a ton of interest in Marcus Morris on Wednesday. All right, next up, sticking to that mid-tier type of theory again, let's talk about Toby Flenderson. Oh, I take it back. Joe Ingles of the Utah Jazz, availability at the 2 and the 3, so you can get him either shooting guard or small forward. He is priced at 5,600. He did nothing game one that I don't find highly replicable for him to do again in game two. There's still no Mike Conley. He's back into the bubble, but he needs to quarantine for a couple days. Ingles gives you that dual eligibility that we mentioned. You also, if you watch game one, Donovan Mitchell was special. I mean, that kid was amazing. He just put on a show from basically, late in the first quarter on. He was excellent. You had to assume that the Nuggets have spent the last, whatever it is, almost 48 hours before game time, trying to figure out what they can do to get the ball out of his hands, how they can stop Donovan Mitchell because he absolutely ate them alive in game one. So without Mike Conley around, there's only two other guys that are really going to be out there creating shots for other players. And one of them is going to be Joe Ingles, who might get a slightly easier path to points on Wednesday because you have to assume that they're going to do whatever they can to stop Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell was so great game one that I'm sure a lot of the Nuggets guys, they won the game, but probably had nightmares about what they can do to stop him. I wouldn't call Ingles a must, but we've seen him with back-to-back games against the Nuggets where he was very good. Granted, both of those games had overtime. So I wouldn't call him a must, but I think he's a really solid building block on Wednesday if you need somebody at this price point. All right, next up. So I want to shimmy away from the more predictable plays that we usually talk about on here and talk about a guy that I would prefer to use in GPPs. He's a little bit of a riskier play because of the talent discrepancy on the Brooklyn Nets and the Toronto Raptors. I think we know who the better team here is. That's Garrett Temple, who's been playing real big minutes for the Nets, knowing that most of their good guys haven't been around there. So the Nets are clearly overmatched here. Toronto's a very good basketball team. The Nets have one very good player in Karis LeVert, and really after that, it's a rough going for them. So I give them a lot of credit for the moxie that they're showing and that the effort they're putting forth. They're just not as good as the Toronto Raptors, not even close. Anybody who watched game one saw it was very clear. The Raptors' theory is get the ball out of hands to LeVert. That's why LeVert had, I want to say he had more assists. I don't have the box score pulled up, more assists than he did points. They were just not letting LeVert do what he wanted out there. So look for Garrett Temple to get a bunch of more open three-pointers. Now, he shot the ball very poorly the other day. He was 1 of 10 from three-point range. But most of you guys who watch this game saw, like, a lot of these shots were very makeable shots, and he's a good three-point shooter. He just wasn't good in this game. So I like the idea of utilizing Garrett Temple in the GPP format. I think you can get him at real low ownership today or on Wednesday. And he's not somebody I necessarily put in my cash lineup, but if you dig the pick, do what you need to do. All right, last up, let's talk about the Boston Celtics. So the Celtics are now without Gordon Hayward for what could possibly be the entirety of the playoffs. So they're going to need some of their guys to step up. Now, fortunately, they have oodles of good players, and one of the guys that I like to take a look at on Wednesday is going to be Kemba Walker at 6,800. So they still got four very good players in Kemba, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum was excellent in game one. I expect him to, take up a bunch of the usage in game two. However, Matisse Thybulle was very good against Tatum in game one. They need to spend more time with Thybulle on Tatum, and I bet you they give everything they can to him out there trying to guard Tatum in game two. Now, Tatum is still Tatum, and he'll still get his points and everything like that. But I look for Kemba to have a bigger game in game four. I don't think he's a guy that's going to get a ton of love, so I think he'll fly a little bit under the radar. I think he offers you a high enough floor for cash games. I specifically like him in the tournament mode, but if you'd like it, this is another one. I don't have any problems with playing him in cash tags. I don't care what his ownership is. Very similar today. I liked Giannis, but I liked LeBron a little bit better, so I went with LeBron. Right or wrong, sometimes you just got to go with your gut and things like that. I like Kemba to have a solid game on Wednesday, and I think the price tag is more than fair. And so far, I'm really liking this mid-tier build with maybe only one stud, and Kemba's another guy that fits right into that mid-tier. So that's what I got for Wednesday, guys. Best of luck to everybody. Sorry you guys had to listen to me whine and cry in the beginning, but I was just in the zone of whine and crying, so I had to take it out on somebody. Sorry it had to be you guys. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Click that thumbs up button, and we'll see you for some more baseball and overlay discussions.